Can we start?
Nikhil, yes.
Yeah, okay. So, very good evening, Toastmasters and my dear friends. I am Toastmaster Nikhil, the Sergeant at Arms for today. I welcome you all to this great joint meeting. Toastmasters International is a non-profitable organization which was initiated by a leader called Ralph C. Smedley with the sole motive to improve communication and leadership skills amongst the members across the globe. Toastmaster International has 15,900 clubs and more than 3,45,000 members in 142 countries. Toastmaster works on a principle of four pillar of values, namely RISE, R for respect, I for integrity, S for service, and E for excellence. The mission of our club is to provide supportive and positive learning experience so that the member can develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. So, before getting into the meeting, I would like to specify the code of conduct. Speakers who are going to speak today are asked not to talk about sex, religion, and politics. So, since it is an online meeting, we have a set of rules for this. Number one, mute if you're not talking so that the other speakers are not interrupted by the noises that you make. Chat with all option can be used to provide feedbacks and other special mentions. Although this is a virtual meeting, please refrain from using your mobile while the meeting is on progress. And please do not interrupt while a speaker is speaking as it might distract the speaker. If a member wants to take a break, please switch off your video and audio, then go for a break, because if you're going to take a break when the meeting is on progress, it might distract the speaker. So, for the benefit of the guests and all the Toastmasters, each meeting is started and ended by one special person called a presiding officer. And today's presiding officer is the mechanical engineer who's working in Hyundai Motors, and that's Toastmaster Shruti.
Thank you, Nikhil, for the introduction.
Yeah.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests, and a special vanakkam to all the Indians present here, and buenos dias to all the Mexican Toastmasters here.
Buenos dias.
A warm welcome to you all. I would take this moment to recognize the dignitaries present here. We have the charter member of Chennai Wordsmiths Toastmasters Club, Deena ma'am, joining us today. Hi ma'am and welcome. And we have the president of Mugaper Marvels Toastmaster Club, Double TTM Rajiv Nambiar. Welcome, sir. We have the area director of Division B District 82 joining us, Toastmaster Bala Murugan. To start with the thought of the day, back in those days when ice cream sundae cost much less, a little boy, a 10-year-old boy, walked inside a coffee shop and sat on a table. And the waitress came over, placed a glass of water on the table. After a few seconds, the boy asked the waitress, "How much does an ice cream sundae cost?" She replied, "It costs 50 cents. The boy immediately pulled his hand out of his pocket and he looked into the coins and was studying them. He again asked the waitress, "How much does a plain regular ice cream cost?" And to that, the waitress replied, 35 cents. She replied it very briskly, as she noticed a few of the people were standing in one side of the coffee shop waiting for a table. After noticing this, the little boy again checked his hand and noticed that he didn't have enough money. And so he ordered the plain ice cream. After a few minutes, the waitress walks in again, places the ice cream on the table, and next to it, she puts the bill and walked away. After the little boy had finished this ice cream, he went to the cashier to pay and departed. And after a few minutes, the waitress again comes to the table. And as she is wiping down the table, she swallowed hard on seeing 50 cents being placed next to the ice cream. The boy, even though he had 50 cents, he didn't opt or choose to have an ice cream sundae. Instead, he ordered for a plain ice cream and paid 15 cents as a tip to the waitress, though the waitress was a little rude. Dear ladies and gentlemen, from this story, what we are to learn is to be kind even if it hurts you. For example, in this lockdown period, due to COVID-19, we are having some struggles and challenges, and especially getting the groceries as we are not able to go out. But despite all those challenges, there are few families who do feed the stray dogs, the street dogs. So with this moral of the story, be kind no matter what, even if it hurts you. And with this thought, I would announce meeting number 568, the International Joint Meeting open. Let's have a huge round of applause. So this is the first international joint meeting both for Chennai Wordsmiths Toastmasters Club and for Ibero Puebla Toastmasters Club from Pueblo City, Mexico. To address the gathering, may I now invite the president of the Ibero Puebla Toastmasters Club. The president of Ibero Puebla Toastmasters Club, Toastmaster Carolina, who has been a Toastmaster for the past 1.5 years, and she has completed the Dynamic Leadership Pathway in Pathways program and now is into the second level of presentation mastery. A huge kudos to you on that. And when asked about what is the key drive that brings her to every week's Toastmaster meeting, she says that she is a very committed person with herself as well as with the club. And this is the only way to move forward. So members and guests, join with me and with much pleasure, join with me to invite Toastmaster Carolina on screen. Let's have a huge round of applause.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. We can hear.
Yes, we can hear.
Oh, thank you. Well, good morning here in Puebla and good evening there in India. It's a pleasure for me to be participating in this meeting, in this intercession club. It was something that we didn't expect, but we are glad in being participating with you this time. And we can see that we can be together in spite of the distance. We are far away, but these pandemic things had good things, and we have to see the good things that we have in life and to learn from them. So thank you so much for the invitation. Thank you so much for this initiative. It's very good, and in the future, we are trying to make this again. Thank you very much.
Your club. So we have quite a number of guests from Mexico as well as from India joining us today. So I would request the guests present here online to take a moment to introduce yourself. You could tell your name and what you do and how you came to know about today's online meeting. You can go one by one, and I would invite or start with Robinson, sir.
Yeah, I just got this invite through the WhatsApp. Now, during using this COVID shutdown period, it is very helpful. And just we are from a corporate club. Few of my colleagues also there in this today attending. And it is amazing. It is a good energy and multi culture. It is there, and we would also replicate the same synergies in our club. Thank you.
Great, so welcome again and thank you. Can we hear it from Toastmaster Vivek? from Ambattur Achievers?
Good evening, everyone in Chennai, and good morning for everyone who is there in Moscow. It's a great pleasure to be part of this joint meeting. I belong to Wordsmiths Toastmasters Club. I was a charter member of Wordsmiths Toastmasters Club, and I have completed my CC from Wordsmiths Toastmasters Club. And it's indeed a great pleasure to be here today in this joint meeting. Thank you, President.
Thank you, sir. Welcome again. And can we hear it from the other guest, Sashank Dwivedi?
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. So,
Good evening.
And good morning in specific to the people of Toastmasters of Mexico. I've got the intimation from leadership group, which is there into Toastmasters District 82. And from there, I was pretty much evident that how much amount of energy is required, not only for the club, but to cross the continent. I'm looking forward to that.
Great, sir. Welcome to the online meeting. And can I hear it from guest Vijay?
Hello, everybody. Good evening in Chennai and good morning in Mexico. Yesterday only I joined this Toastmaster. I'm really privileged that I'm part of this international meeting.
No, he's a member, President.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I'm really happy to be here, and that's it. Yeah.
Welcome and happy Toastmasters journey to you, sir.
Thank you.
Can we hear it from guest Ganga?
Hi.
Hi, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah, I'm from Alvarpet Toastmasters and the VP Education. I got to know this through the WhatsApp group, and I'm very happy to be here for this fantastic venture during these times. Thanks for having me.
Yes, ma'am. Welcome once again. And the next guest, can we hear it from Ganesh? Guest Ganesh. Ganesh, sir, are you with us? Okay, we'll move on to the next guest, Vikram Gunashekar. Okay, the next guest, guest Divya. We can hear it. Yes, Divya. Hi, ma'am.
Is it audible?
Yes, it is.
I am from Ambattur Achievers Toastmasters Club. It's a privilege to join the meeting today. I got a WhatsApp invite. I'm just a new member, and it's a pleasure to join. Thank you.
Hi, welcome, and thank you for joining us today. So with this, I feel we'll move forward. And before that, I would take a moment to recognize the Division B Director of District 82 who's present here with us today, Toastmaster Srinath. Let's have a big round of applause. Thank you all the guests for your wonderful introduction. Hope you all enjoy the meeting. So ladies and gentlemen, are you all ready for the 4th International Joint Meeting? Yes?
Yes, we are ready.
So as we fellow members know, and for the benefit of guests, every Toastmasters meeting will be entirely conducted and basically emceed by this very special person in Toastmasters, whom we call it as the Toastmaster of the Day. Today, the Toastmaster of the Day is from Chennai Wordsmiths Toastmasters Club. He is a very young, energetic, and enthusiastic speaker who is currently pursuing law. And when I had asked one thing that really drives him to be at Toastmasters meeting every week, he says it is about the ability to make sure we invest time and take in return growth. And recently, we have known this Toastmaster for having clinched and won the 2nd runner-up in the Division B table topic contest. With much pride, join with me to welcome the Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Deepak, on screen.
Good evening and good morning, Toastmasters.
Good evening.
Absolutely.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening. I should quite get used to communicating online. But having said that, let's come directly inside the meeting about when was the last time you did something for the first time? These are all questions to be asked to yourself. When was the last time you did something for the first time? When this question is running in your mind, I want you to do one more thing. Raise your right hand straight to the screen. Absolutely. And now your left. And now once you close the hand, open. Do the opposite. Open and close. Open. I can see quite a number of guests trying to do it. It is absolutely nice. Thank you. I will definitely let you know why we did this in the end of the meeting. But in order to talk about Toastmasters as such, Toastmasters is a forum where you invest time and you get growth. So that was something that I wanted to share with Shruti, and absolutely making sense to what we are in this current scenario. We have to look at opportunities to make fun, or we have to look at opportunities in order to make sure that we are happy no matter what. There might be a lot of consequences around you. There might be lockdowns. You, right from people in India and right from people to Mexico. But this meeting itself is to prove that one fact, that happiness is something that can be invested and got in return as well. So now if you have the answer, when was the last time you did something for the first time? I really believe it's time for you to do it so. Right now, this is the time to invest. And fellow Toastmasters, as the Toastmaster of the day, I will be making sure that I take you through the meeting. And every single Toastmasters meeting happens in 3 sessions. And today, in a little bit contrary to the actual scenario, how we function in our club, we'll be having the table topic session first, where the table topic master will be introduced on stage and he will be picking up random volunteers in order to speak on a topic, which he will be explaining it further. And then we have the prepared speeches, where a lot of speakers have invested their time, energy, efforts, and their content in order to make sure we are enthralled throughout this meeting. And last but not the least, we have the general evaluator, who will be the person who is taking forward for the evaluation session. And talking about evaluation, the moment we relate fun, or the moment we think that we are going to be funny, or if we are doing something for fun, there has to be a limit over it, right? Our class teachers never allowed us in order to be shouting at top of our voices. I can clearly see myself standing in my headmistress' room if I did that. So this is this person who is going to control the entire meeting, even when the theme of the meeting is there, it's the fun. And now we have a fun evaluator in order to make sure that this meeting doesn't go out of control. And to talk about this general evaluator, our general evaluator is a Toastmaster for 16 years and is one of the charter members of our club. And when I asked him about this theme, whenever you entertain people around you, that is fun. And with no further ado, I would like to welcome Toastmaster Karthikeyan in order to share his views about the evaluation session.
Hi, thank you, Toastmaster, the Toastmaster Deepak, and good morning, fellow Toastmasters from Chennai Wordsmiths Toastmasters, and good morning to my friends from Mexico Toastmasters Club. I'm your general evaluator for this meeting. As the general evaluator for today's meeting, my role is to take a note of the overall proceedings of today's meeting, the areas where things went well, and the areas where things can improvise in the meetings to come forward. And to help me out in this role as a general evaluator, I have a team of 4 evaluators who will be individually evaluating their respective speakers. And I have a team of 3 Toastmasters who will be donning the role of a time manager, the hour counter, and the grammarian. I would proceed ahead asking each of these tag team players, as we call it here in the Toastmasters forum. Today's timer role is played by Toastmaster Carla, and before I introduce her to explain her role, Toastmaster Carla is a psychologist by profession. She loves spending time with her family, friends. She loves Toastmasters. She loves her dogs, and she loves sharing quality information with her friends. With this brief introduction about Toastmaster Carla, may I introduce Toastmaster Carla to explain us about her role for today's meeting.
Of course, Toastmasters. Thank you for that introduction. I'll show you the green light, something like that. Then I'll show you the yellow one for speakers in 6 or 7 minutes. And then I'll show you the red light. 30 seconds after showing the red light, I'll start applause to know that the speaker has to end his participation.
Thank you, Toastmaster Carla. Our next role player is Toastmaster Sangeeta, who is doing the role of an R-counter. And before I introduce Sangeeta, a brief introduction about her. She joined Chennai Wordsmiths a year back, and currently she's serving as the Vice President membership of our club. She works as a program manager for Renault Desan, and during this lockdown period, she said she is spending her time playing group games with her family members. With this short introduction, may I call upon Toastmaster Sangeeta to explain her role for the day.
Thank you, General Evaluator, and warm greetings to all the Toastmasters present over here in this meeting, and special greetings to the guests as well. So I'm the R-counter for today's meeting, who will make note of the long pauses, filler words, and the gretches, even though the world is experiencing a short pause due to this COVID-19. Even though this is an unlikely situation, there are several other benefits, like we do spend time with our family members, and we do connect with our, internationally as an online meeting like this. So with that note, I will, as an R-counter, I will make note of gretches or the filler words by all the by all who speaks, and I will also listen for overused words such as and, well, but, etc. And I'll also listen for filler words such as etc. And I will present my reports when called upon by the General Evaluator at the end of the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sangeeta. We'll now move ahead to the grammarian for today's meeting. Our grammarian is a very seasoned Toastmaster. He's been with Toastmasters for the last 8 years. He started his Toastmaster journey when he was working in Dubai. He's a soft skill trainer by profession, and today for next 2 hours, he is going to turn as an English professor, and that's because he's donning the role as a grammarian. With this short introduction, may I call upon Toastmaster Paul Bhaskaran to explain his role for today's meeting. Toastmaster Paul.
The world will love you. And if your English is good, your grammarian would love it. As grammarian, I have 2 responsibilities. Number 1, select a word of the day and to suggest everybody to use it. The word I chose is frolicsome. Frolicsome is spelled as F-R-O-L-I-C-S-O-M-E. It is an adjective. It is derived from the word called frolic. We used to, hear fun and frolic like. The definition of frolicsome is very lively, playful, full of gaiety, and synonyms are playful, spirited, light-hearted, and very lively. How do you use it in a simple manner? The Toastmasters set a frolicsome tone for the entire meeting. And yet another usage I can say, if I mix it with the theme, dear frolicsome Toastmasters, where is the fun? Please applaud here. Yeah. And my another responsibility is I listen carefully and make note of good usage and correctable usage of language, such as incorrect grammar, wrong pronunciation, etc. At the end of the meeting, I will submit my detailed report when I am called upon to do so. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Hope to have a wonderful meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Paul Bhaskaran. With that, I will hand over the proceeding back to Toastmaster, but before that, I would like to just put a, let you all be informed that at around 8:55 Indian Standard Time, we will be breaking for 15 minutes because we have a national duty to be done. So that will be exactly 1 hour from now. I request the concerned Toastmaster who is handling the session at that point of time to take a note of this. With this, I hand over the proceeding back to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Karthikeyan. Thank you. And by moving inside the first topic or the first session itself, this is something that I'm doing it for the first time. Having a table topic session in the start of the meeting. Imagine. Table topic session is one of the areas where our feet tremble and our stomachs will have butterflies in it. But moving forward, I believe all of the Toastmasters are energetic because from all of you guys there and out in Mexico, it's morning, and I think you guys should be given the first topics indeed. And moving forward, also to be noted is our Toast table topic master for the day is one kind of a person. Actually, he gave me a different set of introduction for him, but then I felt that this would be the way in which I can pay justice to him. In every single time I have seen this Toastmaster from the moment he has become a member with our club, I have seen him running behind duties and responsibilities. And yet another quality that I've actually noticed from him is he spent his time teaching kids voluntarily in order to make sure he imparts education on them. And that's something beautiful that I definitely wanted to share to all of you. And with no further ado, let me introduce our table topic master of the day, Toastmaster Arun Kumar, who says fun is very essential in being mentally healthy. Toastmaster Arun Kumar, our table topic master for the day.
Thank you, Deepak, for the wonderful introduction. I'm Arun Kumar, and I'm going to be the table topic master for the day. And good evening again, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. So now we are going to have an opportunity to participate in the table topic contest, which is the most interesting and exciting segment of any Toastmaster meeting. The purpose of the Toastmaster table topics is to have members practice thinking and speaking on the feet. So this table topics usually are very short. A table topic presentation should last 1 to 2 minutes. So at 1 minute, the timer will show you a green card. At 1 minute 30 seconds, he will show you a yellow card. And at 2 minutes, the timer will show you a red card. After which you will have 30 seconds grace period. And after that, you will not be eligible for the best table topic speaker. Since the purpose of the table topic is to have members practice thinking and speaking on their feet, I encourage every members and guests to give it a try today. So without any further delay, I'll go on to the topics. Can you all see my screens?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Yeah.
Yes.
You are visible. Yeah. I would like to call upon Toastmaster Nikhil to take the first table topic.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, Nikhil.
Yeah, okay.
What has life taught you recently? What has life taught you recently, Toastmaster Nikhil?
So, very good morning, Toastmasters and my dear friends, and special good morning to the people who are in Mexico, and good evening to the people who are in India. And what has life taught me recently? Exactly a month before, when I was lying in my bed for a very long time, when I am going to get up late in the morning, my mom will scold me and tell me, don't be like this, be responsible, go to college every day, go out for your fitness, and go, don't be at home, stay outside, and be social. That was the word that my mom tells to me. But exactly after 1 month today, the government itself has told me that please stay at home. That is the most responsible thing that you can do as an Indian citizen to save our country from an epidemic or condition like this. So that has taught me that one thing: there is nothing right or wrong in any situation. Everything depends on that situation, and something which is correct now is going to be wrong some days after. For example, this is actually the night now, and the night is actually a period of time for only half of the world, and the other half of the world for it is day. So that nothing is wrong. Everything is temporary, and everything depends on the situation and the perspective on which you learn, on which you see. So just do things that you feel like which is right, and the second thing is the things which you're going to do should not hurt others, so that you not only you are affected, but the people around you are also affected. So do things that you like, and nothing is wrong. So just experience with things with the flow. That is what I learned recently. Thank you, Arun, for the topic.
Thank you, Nikhil. Now I'd like to go to the next speaker, who is distinguished Toastmaster Nina Johns. Are you ready, ma'am?
Yes, I am. Go ahead.
Where do you find inspiration? Where do you find inspiration, Toastmaster Nina Johns?
Where do you find inspiration? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Right. So, welcome to the Toastmasters of Mexico and of Wordsmiths. Where do I find inspiration? Inspiration is there everywhere, wherever you look. There's a quote by Martin Luther King where he says, whatever job you do make it to the best of your ability. If you're a janitor, make sure you sweep so that the whole street is absolutely clean. And recently I found there was a street sweeper who does such an amazing job that the road, you actually don't feel like walking on the road after she's finished. And I was like, that's what commitment to a job or professionalism is all about. You don't have to be a CEO. You don't have to be a very major corporate executive, a hotshot executive to do the best job that you can. Look around you. There are so many people, even now, as the President Shruti mentioned in her opening speech, there are people who are finding the opportunity of the pandemic, even during the lockdown, to be kind to street dogs, to anybody that needs food. There are so many people going out onto the streets to do what they can. And if you look at it, we all said, okay, Toastmasters is now going to go online. And while all of us have been going online with our individual meetings, we also find Wordsmiths coming out with an international meeting. So that's an inspiration from both the Mexico Club and from Wordsmiths to do something out of the box and do something really extraordinary. So look around anywhere, everywhere. Inspiration will always be there. Just keep looking. Over to you, Table Topics Master.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was indeed a great table topic speech. Next, I would like to call upon Toastmaster Roshni from Chennai Speakers Forum. Roshni?
Hi. Yeah, good evening.
Okay. So the topic is it more important to love or to be loved? Is it more important to love or to be loved?
both are important to me because in the current situation, I feel like I want to love myself and I want to love my parents too. Even my dad is working in 5 hours. He has to go out today and he has to work for the nation. I always love myself, but to my father, I feel like he is something third person today because often he has to go out and when he comes home, he is not allowing us to touch him. And now I feel like I want to love my dad more. I'm not giving importance to him like I did before, but now because of this epidemic, it's actually thanks for that. I don't know what to say, but still it's terrible for us to go through this situation. Now we are giving my food to my father, like we give to the third persons. He's what to say? He's just look like an outsider today for us. But still, what to do? It's we can't overtake his national patriotism. So it goes. So it's important to love ourselves and to love our society too.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much. Even my father goes for his work regularly. He works for civil supply, so he has to go as well. So I can really understand how it feels like when whole world is shutting down, and your father or your family member has to go and serve the nation. So thank you so much, Kanishka, Roshni. And now I would like to call upon Toastmaster Srinath. The division director. Okay, I'll go to the next speaker. So the next speaker is Toastmaster Anand from Perambur Speakers Forum.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening. Okay, the next topic is describe your perfect day. Describe your perfect day, Toastmaster Anand.
Yeah, good evening to Wordsmith and good morning to Mexicans. And my perfect day would be starting with yoga and followed by ginger tea from my wife, and then just go for my official work. From it's like my work starts around 11:30, and to be very frank, I am working into sales profession, so it gets over by 5 o'clock. So I'll be back around to home around 6, and I take my kids to park, and where we have it's like half an hour of fun with my son as well as my daughter, and then come home, have a good dinner, preferably paneer butter masala with chapati, where I love it. My wife don't cook normally all South Indian dish to a greater extent, but North Indian dishes she do perfectly well. So with less oil and good paneer butter masala at 7:30, and watch Arnab Goswami shouting in Republic TV at 9 o'clock. The nation wants to know. Still till now we don't get like what the actually nation wants to know. But I listen to the argument. Then around uh, story time starts with my kids, and we used to read books, and I used to read story books for them around 9:30 or 10 o'clock, and preferably around 10:30 I get a cup of milk from wife and just in my day. This is what my normal day routine. No, Thank you.
Thank you, Anand.
Over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Anand. That's great to hear. Now I would like to call Carla, Ms. Carla, to be the next speaker. Your next topic.
Yes, I am here. Yeah.
Your next topic is you invite someone for a date, but you forgot your wallet. How would you handle the situation? You invite someone for a date, but you forgot your wallet. How would you handle the situation? Toastmaster Carla.
So how do you think if you and I just walk under the light moon? I'm a lover and I just love good view, and you have a nice view, so we don't need to buy something or have expensive dinner. And I don't know, I think we are having fun, and we need to have fun and talk each other and know each other. So what do you think? I think we can do something new or something unusual, like go just walk and talk, something like that. Hey, how do you think?
Great. Thank you, Carla. So now next I would like to call upon Toastmaster Sajid to take up the next table topic.
Yes, Arun.
Okay, here is your next topic. You take a sick leave for a game and your boss shows up at the stadium. How do you react? You take a sick leave for a game and your boss shows up at the stadium. Toastmaster Sajid.
Okay. Thank you, Arun. Very good morning to all my Mexican Toastmaster friends. And good evening to all my Wordsmiths Club members. So first of all, as our Tia Modi said, where is the fun? So we have to find out opportunity for fun in every instance. That's what I believe. So in fact, this is not the first time which happened. Okay, this is not the question which I'm facing for the first time. Actually, it happened in my life. Okay, but the sick leave, I have taken many sick leaves. Not necessarily I am sick, but I have never come across such a situation where I'll get caught by my boss directly. In fact, there was a time when I told my boss saying that I'm not feeling well. I have my stomach is upset, so please give me a leave. So my boss immediately said, Sajid, here there are sufficient number of toilets. You can come here and sit and work. No need to be at home. So my boss doesn't even give me an opportunity to fool him. So he knows very well. He studied me a lot, all this while. So there is no question of, being able to fool him, because he's my boss, because he is smart enough to understand me. But I have seen few other of my colleagues who really managed to, get away with my boss skills to understand them. But in this case, I failed many times thoroughly. So I would say that, I try and avoid such a situation. So instead of that, I become straightforward to them and tell him that, boss, I don't feel like coming today. Please grant me leave. So rather than getting into such an embarrassing situation like this, so I submit myself, on the morning itself. I want to take a leave for fun's sake. So that's how I manage the situation. So thank you, Arun. So as Deepak said, this international, meeting, this is the first time I've done something, the first time for the last time. So this is something which I've done for the first time. Thank you, Arun.
Thank you so much, Sudhitra. Now, I would like to call upon Toastmaster Jacob from IPTC. Toastmaster Jacob?
Yes, I'm here.
Great. So here is your table topic question. Would you break the law to save a loved one? Would you break the law to save a loved one? Toastmaster Jacob.
Okay. Did I break the law to save a loved one? That's an easy one. I mean, here in Mexico, it is the situation, the safety situation, a little complex. We have a lot of drug cartels. Sometimes the insecurity is high. You have some tough situations going on here. And in that way, in that context, you have to take care of your people. Here in Mexico, sometimes you don't have to break the law. This context that I have told you, it's our main concerns most of the time. Not just the bad people who is out there. So yes, I am going to take care of my people. And if I have to break the law, I am going to do it. That's it.
Okay, that's nice. Thank you, Jacob. Now, finally, we have one more person, probably the last one. Toastmaster Praveena.
Hi.
Hi.
Was it me that you called?
Yep. So I'm going to give you another topic. And your topic is it our similarities or our differences that attract us to each other? Is it our similarities or our differences that attract us to each other? Toastmaster Praveena.
Thank you for that. I think it's lovely being part of this first international meeting. I think I've been off Toastmasters for a long time, and thank you for this opportunity to get back online. Similarities and differences, I think both are very, very important in life. Like, for example, when you take your 5 fingers, each one is very, very different from the other in terms of the shape and structure. But when you see in terms of functionality, all of it is very similar because each one has a movement, it has a flexibility, it helps us to hold stuff, to lift and to uplift. And it takes all the 5 fingers together to put stuff together. So similarly, I think what makes life or any work beautiful is our similarities as well as differences. Because when a group of different people get together, there is a brainstorming and a lot of ideas that pour into making that a successful project. But at the same time, if each one is different and if all of us are going to differ totally from what we are thinking, then the project may not go well. So the focus has to be similar, while the way we approach it could be different. So that really leads to a very, very successful enterprise, a target, or even an educational institute. So I think both similarities and differences put together make for a wonderful organization together. For example, if you take Toastmasters itself, there are group of people here who have a very similar view, that is to speak and to lead is our only target. But at the same time, the way we each of us approach the entire Toastmaster stuff is totally different. So if you take Arun Sridhar, probably he's a very silent speaker and he knows to pass his message in a very subtle way. So if you take Rajiv Nambiar, he roars and he's kind of very, 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 he comes across as with a punch of words. So we need both this kind of people to make Toastmasters interesting and successful. So in short, I would conclude, let's be similar, but still dissimilar enough to make stuff interesting for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Praveena. Thank you so much. And I think we have come to the end of the table topic session. Just one last table topic. Is there anyone who want to be volunteer? Just one last topic.
Hello, I want to speak.
Okay, great. Hi, Asmita.
Hello.
It is your turn. Who's the funniest person you know? Who is the funniest person you know, and why? Guess. I think you're a guest, right?
Yeah. I'm from Curators Club.
Okay. Over to you.
Hello, everyone. So, who is the funniest person? Actually, for me, it's not a particular person. It's a kind of situation. I mean, for me, the situation creates some funny things which make us laugh sometimes. Sometimes, even we are sitting in a meeting or we are going with friends and they are saying something, they are cracking some jokes or they are doing something which are unusual, and that time you are laughing. So for me, it's not a particular person who makes the things funny. For me, it's always the situation which makes the things funnier or funniest. So sometimes you see the people are passing the sarcastic comments and all, or sometimes people are showing off, or sometimes people are being very nice, and you know that that is not the reality. That time you are laughing in your mind. So that time you yourself are the funniest person. So for me, yeah, it's the situation always which is the funniest. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So I just have one another request, probably the last one. It's Shashank, the area director from G2.
Yeah, I am available.
Okay, great. So it's the last one. What has life taught you recently?
So, good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Indeed, it is an frolicsome moment that we are being entangled into the kind of situation that we are learning each and every moment. It's not about that what we have learned recently, it's to what extent we have learned. And the one moment which I have learned is that everything takes time, but it will heal quite often. And we have seen recently the views from every nook and corner of the world that nature is restoring, whether it is ozone layer depletion in Antarctic Circle, whether it's about dolphins into the river Ganges, whether it's Venice about seeing the crystal clear water, or the Ridley's turtle onto the beach of Orissa and onto that. So the climatic variation and the nature has all the reason to heal itself if we provide the ample amount of time. So I believe that in the moment of pandemic, we have seen that yes, we are the ones who are creating the troublesome one. And we have to learn that how to adjust with the nature and how we are going to move it forward. So that I have learned recently, that we are the ones who is thinking that yes, it is getting polluted, but what is the solution? And answer lies in these couple of days itself. That we are the ones who have to take care, be into the limit, and the nature is always going to take care of themselves and heal according to the matter. So yes, that is the lesson which we have learned, but learning a lesson is not important. Is the one which is important is that we have to apply actively. What is the table topic?
Thank you so much. I definitely agree to your point. It's very true. Even in the Jalandhar, they have told that like from Jalandhar we are able to see the Himalayas back again after 50 or 60 years. So definitely nature is taking its time, and it's rejuvenating during this period of time. Okay, fine. So with this, we have come to the end of the Toastmasters table topic session, and now I would like to give my control back to the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Deepak. Hope you all had a frolicsome table topic session. Thank you. Toastmaster
Thank
Deepak.
you so much, table topic master Arun Kumar, for that beautiful table topic session. It made sure everybody were on their tip of the toes, even if they were. And now, to move inside and yet another important session in Toastmasters is the prepared speeches session. Prepared speeches gets the best out of the speakers because they invest a lot of time, simulating between a speaker and an audience. According to me, if a speaker is given 7 days of time, he would want to write something and he would imagine in his mind how the audience are going to absorb it. And for all the audience out here, I think it's still indeed a privilege in order to witness all of these prepared speeches. And the first prepared speaker of this day, in order to introduce him, there's this very, very short story that I would want to associate with this person, is because whenever we welcome each other and he opens the door and walks inside Toastmasters as such, we have this one unique phrase which we always relate to. Welcome to Toastmasters. Welcome to Toastmasters. That's what we keep doing always. And that's a personal moment I share with Toastmaster Raju. And that is where fun lies for me and Yuvraju sir as such. And Yuvraju sir's speech topic is your ways or your ways. Before moving for that, Toastmaster Yuvraju is going to be evaluated by Evaluator. Just give me a second. Victor. Yes. So now Victor will be reading out the speech objectives. Thank you so much, Victor.
Two objectives are: first, draw entertaining material from sources other than your own personal experience. And second, adapt your material to suit your topic, your own personality, and the audience. Time, 5 to 7 minutes. Good luck, my friend.
So with no further ado, with the speech title, Your Ways Are Your Ways, let's welcome Toastmaster Yuvraju with a thundering applause online.
Raise your hands if you ever felt in your life that life was unfair to you. You started frowning and complaining. Now raise your hands if you have complained for the last 24 hours. Buenos dias to my friends in Mexico, and vanakkam to all my friends in Chennai. And to special welcome to all the people who are attending and still thinking whether to raise their hands or not. There was a disciple and master in a city. They used to go for penance to the forest for 6 months, and they used to come back and stay in the city for the 6 months. After going for a penance for 6 months in forest, they were returning back to the city. From a long distance, they could see that the hut which they were supposed to stay had half the root uprooted by the wind. Seeing this, the disciple got dejected and then started frowning and complaining. Hey God, is this the way you treat us? We went for penance and we did everything for the 6 months, and this is not what we were supposed to get. While complaining this, he saw his master over there, who was gently dancing and saying, Lord, your ways are your ways. Thank you, Lord. And after that, he said, Lord, you knew exactly that we were in penance for the last 6 months. We didn't take bath, and it was a natural environment over there, and with fresh air. And with this, the hut almost uprooted the roof. You have made sure that we get a natural ventilation. Lord, your ways are your ways. Thank you, Lord. Seeing this, the disciple thought, is this something happened to Master over there? The 6 months of penance, maybe something would have happened to him. But still, his thoughts were going that how they are going to stay with the hot sun over there and how they are going to sleep. A complaining mind is never peaceful, but a grateful heart is always peaceful. The day set and the night came. The master was sleeping happily, but the disciple was turning, twisting, not knowing what to do. He was still complaining that the roof was not there. And the master was sleeping happily. In the midnight, the rain started pouring, as if someone has opened Niagara Falls and this was flushing all the way. Seeing this, the disciple again got dejected, angry. He went outside the hut and then started complaining again to the God, saying, Hey God, We went in penance for 6 months and we did everything spiritually, and we were not supposed to get this. What you have done? First, the roof was not there, and now the rain. How would I sleep? While complaining, he saw his master slowly standing and dancing, telling, Lord, your ways are your ways. Thank you, God. I'm so grateful, Lord. You know exactly that we have not taken bath for 6 months, and then you have as if given a natural rain to us to cleanse us. God, your ways are your ways. Saying this, the disciple again got so annoyed, and this time he just wanted to ask his master, Master, first, the situation is so worse. We didn't have a roof and we had a tough time. Now it is raining. We cannot sleep. And still you're telling, Lord, your ways are your ways, Lord. Thank you. Hearing this, the master said, Disciple, you know, I never know if God is there or not. I don't even know whether he's hearing to me or he's going to give me a solution. But what I know is rightful way of living. A grateful heart is always peaceful and always happy. I am happy because of my approach towards life, and I take it gratefulness. But whereas you always complaining, when you start complaining, it shows that your expectations are not met and you are dejected and start complaining. This will make you not peaceful, and you will make your life miserable. Hearing this, again the master started dancing out and telling, Hey Lord, thank you, Lord. Your ways are your ways. You give disciple like this to make me understand that you are great. There was a pause, and after some time, the disciple also started dancing and telling, Lord, your ways are your ways. You gave me such a good master to understand you better. So, dear friends, next time when you start complaining, think, what is your approach to that complaint? Whether you are grateful to that situation or you're just complaining about it. A complaining mind is never peaceful, whereas a grateful heart is always happy. So, friends, always be happy and cheer yourself and make sure that you're approaching life in a great way. Thank you. Over to Toastmaster of the day.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, great show. Woo!
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Yuvaraju. That was a beautiful speech crafted along the way in which you said your ways are your ways. And your speech, if I had to add on something to it, I believe as Toastmasters and a lot of members over here, or as human beings, just trust something that's above you. And that's it. That does the magic. And moving forward with a little bit amount of time that we have left. So the second speaker over here is our special guest from Mexico, the president of that club, Toastmaster Carolina, with a speech topic, Come Back Even Stronger. And even before I can invite her onto the stage, I would want her evaluator, Toastmaster Anandita, to read out the speech objectives.
Thank you, Deepak. So, good evening, everyone. My target speaker is attempting level 2 project 2 from Pathways Manual. So the path she has chosen is presentation things. So the purpose of her speech is for the member to deliver a speech with awareness of international and intentional and unintentional body language, as well as to learn, practice, and refine how he or she uses non-verbal communication when delivering a speech. Timer, please note that the time limit for her speech is 5 to 7 minutes. All the best to my target speaker.
With a hundred applause, let's have Toastmaster Carolina on stage with the speech topic, Come Back Even Stronger. Toastmaster Carolina, the stage is yours.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, it is audible, Carolina.
Yes, Carolina.
More than education, more than training, more than experience, a person's level of education will determine success or fail. Fellow Toastmasters, Nelson Mandela, the great apartheid activist and one of the greatest leaders of the last century, is the perfect example of resilience. He endured 27 years of his life in prison, with little food or clothes. Even more, at times he was in a solitary confinement, and he was able to see his family just once in a year. But he turned this situation into a positive one. He worked to become the person he wanted to be. He worked to have a positive impact in the world. So Nelson Mandela learned to turn negative situations into positive. And he learned how to not hold a grudge, and he wasn't angry. Now we are living in a very hard situation, a situation of stress and fear. But we can choose both: to enter in a loop of anxiety or stress, or to become connected with ourselves and with others more deeply. Please raise your hand if you have ever struggled through a difficult situation. Thank you. So, hard situations in life doesn't discriminate. I would like to share with you today 3 strategies that resilient people do. The first one is resilient people know that good and bad things happen in our life. They don't expect everything is going to be perfect. So when the hard and horrible situations come in their lives, they know that it's part of the life. They know that suffering is part of every existent human life. So when this happens, they don't question themselves, why me? No, they know that it's part of being alive. So they are ready to overcome through this situation. And their success is not in spite of the trauma. Their success is because of their trauma. And pretending this is not going to happen is not a practical approach. And in these days, we are entitled to expect that we deserve a perfect life. The second point, resilient people are very good in choosing where to focus their attention. So they turn in the things they can control and accept the things they cannot control. And they are grateful for the good things they have in their life. And one thing that we can do to learn this, to focus on the good things, is writing down in a day, before you go to bed, the 3 things that happen in your life. And they could be just simple things like, I received a phone call from an old friend. I received a message from my uncle. Something very simple, but we can be trained to see the good things we have in our life. We are blessed to have good things. The third thing that resilient people do is to question themselves. What are my actions helping or hurting me? Are my actions hurting others? And we can apply this in, for example, when recovering from a heart attack, or while we are about to smoke a cigarette, or maybe forgiving a family for an old transgression. This makes good to us and our health. So remember, accept that bad things are part of our life, focus on the positive things, and question yourself if your acts are good or bad for you. Sometimes life doesn't go as we expect. None of us expected this pandemic to happen. But we can learn from Nelson Mandela example. When life hit us very hard, we can learn and use this like an opportunity to become ever stronger. So let's measure our life not by titles or trophies. Let's measure our life success by the difficulties we've overcome. That is what defines us.
Thank you so much, Carolina, for that beautiful speech. It was indeed a pleasure listening to you. And with no further ado, let's move on to the speaker number 3. And before I can introduce the speaker number 3, let's have his evaluator, Toastmaster Alvaro Prieto, to introduce him. Sorry, to introduce the speech objective before they come.
Thank you, Toastmaster Deepak. The objectives for this project the speaker was to create and tell a story based on a personal experience without using a script or notes. The speaker was to use vivid descriptions and dialogue to bring the story to life. It is suggested to practice the speech before the project presentation. He has time from 6 to 8 minutes. Good luck.
Thank you, Toastmaster Alvaro Prieto. And with no further ado, the speaker number 3 on stage with the speech title Expensive. Let's invite Toastmaster Arumugam. Toastmaster Arumugam, Expensive.
Yeah. How many of you tried new things in your life? I need an answer from audience. How many of you had a biryani or pizza early morning 3 o'clock? Answer, please. Audience? Yeah. How many of you had a ice cream early morning 3 o'clock? Okay. Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Special good morning to Mexico team. I'm just sharing my experience, what I tried new things in my life. One day, my friend Kumar asked me, Arumugam, where you do a haircut? I said, no, I will always visit nearest my home, Selvam Parlor. And he said, Arumugam, this is the time you have to upgrade yourself for branded one. You always visit branded salon. And he has recommended one, #1 parlor in Chennai. I said, okay, let me try. After 2 days, I thought I decided to go that #1 parlor in Chennai. After several attempts, I got the appointment Saturday, 4 o'clock. So normally, I go by 2-wheelers for a regular parlor, but that day, so-called #1 parlor in Chennai, I decided to go by car. And this #1 parlor, I have to change my dress. I have the jeans pants, Ray-Ban glass, and I went by car. As soon as I entered the car, parking place, one person came. Sir, he has given a parking receipt of 100 rupees. I got a first shock because my regular parlor, haircut charge itself 100 rupees. Then I have the big heart, I given 100 rupees. Once I entered the parlor, that receptionist counter. Maria, receptionist asked, "Sir, do you want senior hairstylist or junior hairstylist?" I was confused. Junior, senior. Only I heard one NTR, junior NTR and senior NTR. Here I confused. And Maria has clarified that based on the experience, we are allocated for senior and junior. Particularly, senior hairstylists will preferred by celebrities. The celebrity's name is registered in my mind. Then I also let me try for senior hairstylist. I was sitting, that one guy came exactly 4 o'clock. Looked like Bahubali hero. It's like flat, tall, and almost physical fit, perfect fit guy. Came. But one thing we have had here is a bad Bahubali. Because his hairstyle itself, 3 colors. Dark brown, white, and black. And wearing a chain, earrings, bracelets, completely changed. Even a shoe color, dress, everything. His name is Richard. He took me on the inside the parlor and introduced himself and given a comfort. He asked, "What service you require?" I said, "Haircut." He touched my hair and said, "Sir, your hair is dry and curling." He said, "I know, Richard. Sir, you need the treatment." "What treatment?" "Hair fall, anti-hair fall treatment, anti-scalp treatment, and hair revitalizer, and hair massage, and hair spa." Then I thought, "Richard, this is a hospital, this is a parlor or hospital?" No, sir, these treatments required for hair." Then I thought, "Sorry, Richard, please do only haircut." And Richard is having 2 assistants. One guy holding a scissor, another guy holding a towel. How many of you seen superstar Rajinikanth hairstyle? If he's cutting the hair, how does look like? The same way Richard has tried. He took a scissor and tarak. Within a 5 minutes, haircut is over. My earlier parlor, almost 2 hours, relax, and I don't know what he will do, but 2 hours, complete relax on that. But here, within a 5 minutes, it charges 1,000 rupees plus GST, 1,150 rupees. In the meanwhile, Richard also tried is using his marketing skills, selling skills, strategies. He's planning to achieve his cross-sell target. Yes, he's having a cross-sell target to achieve the target. Facial, and he's completely putting a full effort to convincing me. Sir, it's an international brand. Facial, bleaching, everything. And he also used one more thing. Sir, this all facial bleaching is used by celebrities. Again, register is mine. I thought, okay, we'll go. Then within a 5 minutes, he applied the cream, everything. Then almost over. Within a 5 minutes, all makeup, everything over. Then I asked Richard, "What happened, Richard? You committed something, you said celebrities using some changes will come, but nothing has happened." Then I came directly to reception counter. Now Maria, she's welcoming like anything. Given sir, how was the service? Do you interested for having any tea or lime juice, anything like my mother-in-law? Then finally they given a bill. The charge is 6,000 rupees. 1,150 for haircut, 4,850 for facial and bleaching. 6,000 rupees, I swept the car. As soon as I entered the car, my friend Kumar is called. "Hi, Machi, how are you? How's your parlor?" Then I said, "Kumar, please keep the phone. I am in very, very, very worst mood." As soon as I enter my home, my first daughter came. She has given a ugly look. "Daddy, your hairstyle is not good." Again, my second daughter has given. She's very young one. She's funny. She has given a funny look. He said, "What, Daddy? Your hairstyle is not at all good." Finally, my home minister, my wife came. "What happened to you? Have you in a presence of mind? Your hairstyle is totally damaged." Then after my angel investor, my angel appreciation, I was sat in a sofa watching in comedy channel and burning up 6,000 rupees. What is the moral of the story? When you try new things, before trying, check the cost of the new things. Over to TMOD.
Thank you so much, Arumugun sir. Thank you, Toastmaster Arumugun. If the general evaluator may allow me to have the next speaker, I might have the next speaker. Can we have the next speaker on stage?
Yes, TMOD, you can go ahead, but we are 5 minutes short of 8:55, and that's the time we agreed to break for 15 minutes. So you can have that in mind, and we can try to wrap up the speech by 8:57 max, another 7 minutes max.
Perfect, should be fine. And so in order to invite the speaker number 4 on stage, I would like to call the evaluator of that speech, Toastmaster Manish, to read out the speech objectives. Toastmaster Manish, if you want it, Hari.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah. So my target speaker, Toastmaster Alvin, is presenting his speech today. The purpose of his speech is for the member to practice a written and delivering speech that inspires others. The purpose of this speech is for the member to inspire the audience. Timer, please note the time allotted for this speech is 5 to 7 minutes. Over to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Manish. And with no further ado, with the speech title, Infect M with Kindness. Infect M with Kindness, Toastmaster Alvin Villanueva.
Timer, this is a mic check first. I'm just checking to see you all can hear me, please. Yes, thank you. Me, driver. My dad, passenger. Look out, son. Honk. Dad, that guy cut into my lane. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. This was my first driving lesson. My dad leaned in and said, son, look out for the driver in front of the one behind you. He was talking about taking care of myself. But of course, he wasn't saying to protect my self-interests by keeping others out of my lane. He was saying, son, take care of yourself by controlling your ego. Be kind and let others into your lane. You wouldn't expect that from someone who grew up in a neighborhood of extreme violence and poverty. But my dad learned that giving was what fueled him. At 8 years old, he discovered the joy of giving songs. Songs gave him the optimism to believe that there were plenty of resources to share while still having an abundance for himself. These songs were the soundtrack of his life. When the dog bit, when the bee stung, when he sang his songs, he simply was kind and let others into his lane. But the joy of singing didn't keep my dad on the island of Puerto Rico. Instead, it drove him onward to the US mainland where his hopes and dreams were. For years, he struggled in poverty, driving himself forward from one job and into another. But he had high hopes, he had high hopes, he had high apple pie in the sky hopes. Until one day he chanced on a young man that hired him to build his home. As that young man went to pay my dad the deposit, my dad said, "Steve, wait until I'm finished." Mr. Green was pleasantly confused. He had never met anyone quite like my dad. From that point on, Mr. Green sent him many referrals. And my dad's customer base exploded. 44 years later, my dad had made an impact on the city of Los Angeles by building homes for thousands of Angelenos who to this day live out their life's experiences. My dad made an impact on people's lives. And he reached his dream by being kind and letting others into his lane. That's what he did when he and my mom opened their doors to people falling on hard times. He did it when he bailed people out of jail and gave them work. And he did it so many more times for so many people who remembered him for it decades later. That has repeatedly been the impact of an interaction with my dad. He always leaves you feeling great. Such a feeling's coming over me. There is wonder in most everything I see. Not a cloud in the sky, got the sun in my eyes, and I won't be surprised if it's a dream. That great feeling of optimism and his kindness are infectious because it leaves you wanting to pay it forward. As my dad nears the end of his great life that he dreamed of and lived, he's yet again taught me another powerful lesson. That the spirits of kind men like him don't die. They live on in the people they inspired to continue spreading acts of kindness. In these crazy times, it's so easy to just think about ourselves for fear of limited resources. But actually, our kindness inspires hope and optimism in others. It's what people thrive on. And so, as we drive forward on this life's journey, let's please all remember to be kind. Check in on your elderly neighbors. Give a smile to a stranger and a helping hand to someone falling on hard times. Yes, infect them with kindness. After all, that's just looking out for the driver in front of the one behind you. As my dad might sing, someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, away above the chimney tops. It's where you'll find me, somewhere. Over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come, everybody, true. Mr. Toastmaster.
You created an impact in all of our hearts, Toastmaster Alvin, and that was so beautiful. You did absolute justice to the time that's given. And right now, we'll be going for a short break for 15 minutes as per request of the Toastmasters from India. So we will be quickly joining back in the meeting forum by 9:15. 9:15 p.m. will be the time we'll be joining back again.
I would like to come in TMOD. It's not 9:15. I request people to come in between 9:10 to 9:13 so that we start by 9:15 sharp. Back to you, TMOD.
So thank you so much for all joining in. Please be back by 9:10 to 9:13, and we will make sure we have a wonderful evaluation session. Thank you. To move forward for the most important session, that's the evaluation. Our fun evaluator for the day is Toastmaster Karthikeyan, and Toastmaster Karthikeyan, you can take charge.
I too can't hear. Hello?
Hello?
Toastmaster Karthikeyan, our general evaluator for the day.
Welcome back, Toastmasters. And I would like to thank our friends from Mexico for supporting us for this 15 minutes and for your patient wait for this 15 minutes. We are now into the final. Am I audible to all the participants? Thank you. Before I proceed, I would like to ensure whether Toastmaster Victor is there, who is the first evaluator. Toastmaster Victor? I'm afraid I couldn't hear you, Victor.
Yes, here I am. Can you hear me now? Hello?
Yes, we are able to hear you, Victor.
Okay, great.
Okay. Just in case Victor is not available, I can probably move to the second evaluator, Toastmaster Anandita. Anandita, are you there?
Victor is available, Karthikeyan.
Evaluator number 3, Toastmaster Alvaro, are you there?
Here I am.
Alvaro, right. Okay, we'll start with the third evaluator. Before that, I welcome you all for the final segment of this international joint. We're made in the international joint meeting between Chennai Wordsmiths and Mexico Toastmasters Club. Can we have a round of applause, please? Back in the Toastmasters meeting. Thank you. I will quickly run into getting the first evaluation report, and we'll start with the third speaker. To evaluate the third speaker for today's meeting, I have Toastmaster Alvaro, and before I call him to give his report, here's a small introduction about him. Toastmaster Alvaro loves reading. He's learning piano during this lockdown period. He loves working out in the gym during his spare time. He loves playing video games, and he loves spending more time at home. With this brief introduction, may I call upon Toastmaster Alvaro to give your evaluation report.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Toastmaster Arumugam, are you there? Thank you, Toastmaster Arumugam, for your speech. It was a frolicsome speech. Thank you. Were the characters well developed? How did you learn about them? Yes, Toastmaster Arumugam. I noticed a very good description of the characters. In fact, I want to notice one. You describe it with your own body. I like that you use your own body to describe it. You use your hair. I remember when you used one color right side, one color middle, and the other color the other side. The other thing I want to notice is that you guide us with your story. It was a very good story, and something that you can improve is your speech was 7 minutes and you had 8 minutes. We need to use all the time we have. You could use 8 minutes, maybe more, not the maximum of 8:30, but we need to use all the available time. Thank you, Toastmaster Arumugam, again for your speech. General Evaluator, you have the word.
Thank you, Toastmaster Alvaro. And okay, thank you. There were much of noise here that I couldn't hear Toastmaster Victor saying yes to me, but I'm sorry that I had to, because I couldn't hear that I had to move to the next evaluators in line.
Okay, don't worry.
First speaker, for which Toastmaster Victor made the evaluation.
Yes. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you, Victor.
Great. Thank you. Carla, how long was...
That I missed you because there are a lot of noise on this end.
Yeah, someone was like hammering or something. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Before I introduce Victor, Victor has about 15 years experience in Toastmasters platform. And he's an architect and artist. He's an architect by profession and he's an artist too. With that brief introduction, I leave the floor open to Toastmaster Victor to give his evaluation report.
Thank you, my friend. Carla, how long was your speech, please?
Yeah, 5 minutes and 38 seconds.
Thank you very much. My friend, are you there?
I'm there, Victor. I'm there,
Great.
I'm there.
How do you feel delivering this speech? How do you feel delivering this speech, my friend?
Very good.
Great. That's a huge step in your Toastmaster career. Your ways are your ways. And my evaluation is my evaluation. But you are in the way of success. I want to congratulate because you are a great speaker. I was so amazed at listening to you.
Thank you.
I am very happy because I listened to a very fluent speech, which had an opening, a great story, and then a conclusion. And the message was clear. Don't complain, be happy. So let me share with you two positive things that I've seen from your speech and 2 areas of improvement. You asked me to focus on body language. So I'm going to do this. Number 1, you adapted a vivid story to the central topic. Don't complain, be happy. So that was a very important message to the audience. You made the audience to participate since the beginning. I was entertained because you talk about negative and positive emotions. You made me feel to be there. When you talk about the surroundings, the waterfall, the sky, the worriness, the angry, you made it possible to me. So that was phenomenal. And I want to share 2 areas of improvement. First, I suggest you to fix your camera in the middle because I didn't have a symmetrical view, so it was difficult to me to watch your speech. Another exercise that you can do with your speech is a question exercise. For example, you can select questions like how, and then change the tone, like how, like why to complain, like why to complain. So it is going to give you a more fluent body language. And another tip is that before you say the emotion, do it first with your body. For example, I was angry, or I was happy. My friend, I love your speech. I know you are in the great path to become a great speaker. And remember, your ways are your ways. Congratulations, my friend.
Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Victor, for that brilliant evaluation report. I will now move into the penultimate evaluator, Toastmaster Anandita. Before I introduce her, Anandita joined Wordsmiths Club last year. She transferred her membership from Cavaliers Toastmasters. People who are new to Toastmasters, Cavaliers is a club for people who are below 18 years. So she turned 18 last year and she came to Chennai Wordsmiths, and she took up the role of a sergeant at arms immediately after moving to Chennai Wordsmiths, and now she's serving the club as a secretary, and this is a second consecutive term in the XCOM. With that brief introduction, I now hand over the floor back to Toastmaster Anandita to give the evaluation report.
Thank you. Good day to the Toastmasters from India and Mexico. It was indeed a pleasure to evaluate Toastmaster Carolina's speech. Toastmaster Carolina, your speech title was really intriguing and made every your speech. As soon as I read your speech objectives, I started wondering how we were going to use non-verbal communication in online meetings, since it involves standing up and moving across the stage. And I thought it might not be put in effectively, and I was really scared. As soon as you started your speech, you used an array of gestures that supported your speech content. Kudos to that, Toastmaster Carolina. You started off by talking about a known personality, someone we are familiar with, Nelson Mandela. That established a connect with the audience. So today, as per your speech objectives, I am supposed to evaluate you based on your body language, and the first thing I've got over here is clarity. So today we have people attending this meeting from different ethnicities, and the way we speak would vary. Your language was quite clear and was easily understandable to the audience. I definitely need to appreciate your confidence levels, although you were giving the speech in front of a different set of audience. Honestly, I would have got cold feet and quit at the last moment. You exhibited a range of tempers in your speech. Your voice modulation was on point, and the way you said, "Why me?" came right through, and it really made a huge impact. As a communication student, I have learned that non-verbal communication has a huge impact than the words. The gestures you use with your hands to make different points in your speech, especially your 3 major points, was too good. That made your speech content to be observed by the audience. Your speech is a testament to the popular proverb, actions speak louder than words, and people will definitely remember your speech for a long time. To be honest, I definitely don't have recommendations to this awesome speech, and it was really a pleasure to evaluate you. Overall, it was a fabulous speech, and I hope to listen to more of your speeches. Over to the general evaluator. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anandita.
Thank you.
We will now proceed to the final evaluator for this meeting, Toastmaster Manish. And Manish is a doctor by profession. He's a bike enthusiast. He loves playing table tennis, and he's joined Toastmasters to sharpen his public speaking skills. With this short introduction, may I request Toastmaster Manish to give your evaluation report, please?
Yes. Am I audible, General Evaluator? Can I go ahead?
Yes, please.
Yes. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, Toastmasters and guests, and a special good morning to my dear Toastmasters in Mexico as well. And a special good morning to my target speaker, Toastmaster Alvin. Alvin, kindness is the language which the deaf can hear and the blind can see, said Mark Twain once. True to those words, your father moved you and he also moved every single one of us here. With you is this kindness and optimism. Made the best use of the chair. I honestly didn't know I could use the chair as much as you did. You had a proper voice modulation and a voice variation to differentiate you and your father. And the car ride was totally amusing. I was actually there in front of your windshield, seeing both of you. You didn't just tell out optimism. You sung it through songs. Let me be honest. I'm a dear fan of this Disney movies where they show emotions through the music, and likewise, I was swept away with your songs when you actually sung about your father's kindness and optimism through it. We completely know your father now. We know how an inspiration he is. You had such a nice pace, and you made us walk us through on every single walk of it. And so, just as I told you, like your recommendations, it is only fair on my part if I could just sprinkle some of the just as I told you recommendations. It's just fair as if I just only told you my recommendations, just a sprinkle on top. It will make your speech a fabulous one. Your evaluation criteria says you need to communicate and interact with your audience as well, but your communication part with the audience was actually kind of missing. Maybe if you had just popped up a question in the front, like, how many of you showed kindness to someone else today? Or if you had popped up a question in between, like, do you get me? Or are you able to feel what I say? Or maybe 2 or 3 questions, we would have understood more about it. And your songs were so breezy, but the words that you told were even more impactful. So maybe at the ending, maybe at the climax, if we had used used some powerful words, it would have been even more essential, and we could have carried much more to our hearts. On an overall note, you had an extraordinary speech. It was properly constructed, and it was a well-flowing speech. Just on one recommendation, that if you had interacted with your audience, this would have been a phenomenal one. Over to General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Manish. With that, we conclude the evaluation reports for the individual speakers from the prepared speech session. I now quickly move on to getting the report from the tag team players, starting from the timer Toastmaster, Carla.
Yes, Toastmaster. All the times? Okay. In Topic Master, the first speaker, 1 minute 47 seconds. Second speaker, Nina, 1 minute 78 minutes. Third speaker, Roshin, 1 minute and 12 seconds. Fourth speaker, Anand, 1 minute 36 seconds. Then Carla, 1 minute and 9 seconds. Next, Sajat, 2 minutes and 25 seconds. Seventh speaker, Jacob, 1 minute and 10 seconds. Eighth speaker, I don't know how to pronounce that, but 2 minutes and 8 seconds. Next speaker, Asmita, 1 minute and 6 seconds. And then speaker, Shashank, 1 minute and 27 minutes. In prepared speech, first speaker, Javaraju, 5 minutes and 38 seconds. Second speaker, Carolina, 6 minutes and 49 seconds. Arumujan, 7 minutes and 7 seconds. Alvin Villanueva, 7 minutes and 31 seconds. And I think that's, no, evaluators. Álvaro Prieto, 1 minute and 49 seconds. Anindita, 2 minutes and 18 seconds. Victor, 3 minutes, 32 seconds. And Manish, 30 minutes and 7 seconds. That's all, Toastmasters.
Thank you, Toastmaster Carla. May I invite Toastmaster Sangeeta to present the R-Counters report, please.
Greetings again, Toastmasters. Let me start with my R-Counter report. I want all the participants to unmute and give claps whenever I say. Now this is to start with Sergeant at Arms Nikhil. He has no filler words or repetition words or long passes. Please give a 3 claps. And President Shruti, no filler words or repeated words, just 2 long passes. Give a 3 claps. And Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Deepak, nothing as well. Very clear. Give him 3 claps. And General Evaluator, Toastmaster Karthikeyan, just 2 long pauses. Give 3 claps for him as well. And Timer Carla, just 2 hours. And Grammarian, Toastmaster Pal Bhaskaran, it's a very clear speech. No findings as well. Give 3 claps. And Speaker 1, Yuvaraju, it's again a clear speech. Please give him 3 claps. And Speaker 2, Toastmaster Carolina. Carolina, you had 2 long pauses and your repeated words is so, right? Please give her 3 claps. And Speaker 3, Toastmaster Arumugam, had 1 A. A repeated word is but and 1 long pause. Please give him 3 claps as well. And Speaker 4, Toastmaster Alvin, you had only 2 long pauses other than the required in your speech. Give him 3 claps. And moving on to table topics, Toastmaster Nikhil had 2 R's and your repeated words were this, so, just, and you know. Give him claps as well. Next, DTM Nina John. It's a clear speech, Nina John. And Toastmaster Roshni, you had 2 R's and your repeated words were now, like, what to say, and so. Claps for you, Roshni. And Toastmaster Anand, you had 2 R's and 1 long pause. And Toastmaster Carla, you had 1 and your repeated words were just. And Toastmaster Sajid, you had 2 R's and your repeated words were you know, so, and okay. And Toastmaster Jacob, you had just 1 And Toastmaster Pravina, you had just 2 you knows. Other than that, your speech was perfect. And Toastmaster Ashmita, you had just 2 And Toastmaster Shashank, it was a flawless speech again. 3 claps, please. And comes to the evaluation session, Toastmaster Victor, it was a flawless speech. 3 claps, please. And Toastmaster Anintita as well. It was a flawless speech. And Toastmaster Alvaro Prieto, just 1 and 1 long pause. And Toastmaster Manish, it was just 2 R's, 3 claps for him. So now I have done with my report, and now 3 claps for all the speakers and role players. Thank you. Over to General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sangeeta, for the beautiful report, Arcondo's report. I next would like to invite Toastmaster Paul Bhaskaran to read out the Grammarian's report.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Good day once again. The theme of the day, where is the fun? It was used 7 times. And word of the day, frolicsome, it was again used 7 times. Let's applaud for all the users. To please me, can we all say at one go, frolicsome?
Frolicsome.
Frolicsome, say. Very good, very good. Then 7 plus 10. Okay, fine. During my observations, I found out some good usages. Let me list it. Let me read it out quickly as possible. Didn't opt, be kind no matter what, replicate, scenario, feet trembled, imparting education, give it a try, hot shot executive, songs were breezy, I'm a lover, walk and talk, safe situation, shape and structure, to lift and to uplift. He, that means she was mentioning Rajiv. Rajiv roars, that is a good usage. You yourself are the funniest person. Nook and corner, disciple, penance. A grateful heart is always happy. Apartheid, it was rightly pronounced. Resilient people, songs gave his optimism. Optimism and kindness are infectious, and we have infect them with kindness. I was so amazed, into gigging, array of gestures, sprinkle my recommendations. Let's applaud for the good usage. Please applaud. Can we have applaud for all the good usages? Those are whoever used it. And here comes the correctable usage. Join with me wishing. The with is not required. Join me wishing. And very long time, the very is not required. Long time, that is enough. Temporary, the pronunciation was wrong. Temporary. But still, either you can use appropriately but or still, not but still. Wife do not cook. It is a third place singular. Wife doesn't cook. Hope she cooks. And definitely I agree to your point. It has to be, the preposition should be with instead of to. Definitely I agree with your point. One guy came exactly 4 p.m. The preposition at was missing. Within a 5 minutes, why the A is not required? Within 5 minutes time. Otherwise, it was enjoyable meeting. Learning never ends. Let's all learn to be perfect in our English. Although English is neither our mother tongue nor our mother-in-law's tongue, we need to be precise in terms of choice of words, in terms of pronunciation, etc. Thank you for the opportunity. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Toastmaster Paul Bhaskaran, for that wonderful report. That concludes the report from my team members, and I'm quickly running through my general evaluation report. Due to paucity of time, we are 5 minutes behind. We started at 7:30 on time. Good work done by the XCOM team from both the sides. At the beginning of the meeting, we had about 37 participants in the line, which went up to 62, and right now it's at 47. So good participation from Toastmasters across the border and from Toastmasters in Chennai. The Sergeant at Arms read out the rules for the meeting. Well done. Toastmaster Shruti, our president, warmly introduced the president from Mexico Toastmasters Club, who also shared the presidential address. Well done, Toastmasters. The guests were introduced by our president, Toastmaster Shruti. All the role players were introduced briefly by the TMOD.
Good job done. The TD master made kept the topics simple and easy for the speakers to speak or comment on. One suggestion here for the table topic master is probably you can pick on people who are participants who are non-role players. You had to pick on a couple of role players also. Since we had about 50 plus participants, you could have picked on non-role players because they would have had they would have had a participation in the table Toastmasters meeting for today. That's one suggestion I have for the table topic master. Many of the participants present for today's meeting were present in formals. Good job done there. Yes, couple of suggestions I would like to give for this XCOM team is we had some disturbance in between the session, and I would request the participants to kindly mute, put yourself in mute so that the speakers don't get disturbed in the midst of their speech. It could be nice if all the participants could keep yourself visible instead of hiding your video so that each one of us could see the other participant, and that could help us connect more. A small advice to the counter for today. You could have reserved the applause from the audience at the last, because I think a couple of minutes went there. With that suggestion from my end, it was a wonderful meeting, and I would like to specially thank our Toastmasters from Mexico for cooperating for that 9 minutes very patiently. With that, I conclude my general evaluation report and hand over the proceeding back to the Toastmaster of the day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Kaskir, and it's been a wonderful meeting with all of you over here. And coming forward for the end of the meeting, you remember the first thing that we did even when we started this meeting was you open your hand and you close your hand, you open your hand, you close your hand. It's very simple. Due to constraint of time and the battery percentage in my iPad, I want to take you on a quick roll because remember, it's unanimous or it's obvious that we all look for fun every single time outside. Like whenever a person is funny, whenever you go for a stand-up commercial, whenever you look at a movie, you see something funny, you tend to laugh. But often, Toastmasters, I want to tell you, I want you to be that person. The fun is in you. This one shift can make a lot of things to go better around for the people in you and for yourself as well. And with this thought in my head and with this meeting coming to an end, it's been an absolute pleasure in hosting this meeting. And thank you so much for all the people out there from Mexico who's been joining this. And thank you so much to the president who's given this opportunity for me to be the Toastmaster of the day. And it's wonderful to get to know a lot of people with common motive to improve public speaking throughout the globe. And with this, I would like to hand over the session to our presiding officer, TM Sturuti.
Thank you, Deepak. That was a great session by you with a very smooth flow indeed. Congratulations once again. So hope all the members and guests today enjoy the meeting. Did you all?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes,
a lot.
that is so great to hear from you all. One thing I want to share is due to this COVID-19 outbreak all over the world, all Toastmasters Club, like everywhere in this world, we have started with the online meeting. And in that case, online meeting is something new. Though we attend few online meetings as a part of our work or something, this is different because as public speaker, we are very much practiced or very used to giving speeches in private. We face people and do it. So this is a new challenge, facing the video camera, doing it online. Though we have started with online meeting, however, there is a saying, every cloud has a silver lining. Having said that, this specific online meeting, every cloud has a silver lining, meaning every bad situation, sad situation, or difficult situation always has a comforting and more hopeful aspect. And in that very way, we, that is the Chennai Wordsmiths Toastmasters Club with Ibero Puebla Toastmasters Club, have joined together to go a step ahead and conduct this international joint meeting. So on that regard, I want to congratulate every member and guests, especially the role players and speakers who have been a part of this wonderful, memorable meeting. So let us have a huge round of applause. Great. On behalf of the members of Chennai Wordsmiths Toastmasters Club, I would extend my gratitude to the president as well as the members of the IPTC Club for having accepted the invite, and especially despite the fact that almost 50% of your club members speak only Spanish, you had taken a lot of effort in especially filling the role plays and speakers despite short notice period. So thank you very much on that, and join me to welcome Toastmaster Carolina to share a few words to all the members and guests present here. With a round of applause, please.
Thank you so much for the invitation. I am really thankful for this opportunity. And the name of my club, I really appreciate this. I am full of new energy. I am full of positive energy. And now we are not just numbers, we are people, and we can see other faces, we can see new faces, and that is very, very, I don't know how to describe it, but it fills me with a lot of joy and a lot of positive energy. Thank you so much for this effort. Thank you so much for this initiative. And I hope in the future we can make this again. Thank you all.
Thank you very much. So I want to take a few feedback from the members and guests. We can just have 2 feedbacks as we are running out of time. So may I request Triple DTM Dina John to present a feedback, a small feedback on today's meeting.
Thank you so much. As Carolina said, it was an amazing experience to have 2 entirely disconnected clubs from across the world connecting up over here. So brilliant organization, brilliant details from both. So kudos to both Shruti and Carolina. Amazing lineup of speakers, loved all the speeches. And I'm so happy we had so many different guests. Really looking forward to more meetings like this with more clubs. Thank you so much for inviting me and having me here. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. Can we hear it from any one of the guests present here? Maybe Roshni.
Hello, good evening.
Hi,
this
yes.
is the first time This is the first time I'm coming out of my own club. I'm seeing some other clubs meeting. Thanks to the technology, I really enjoyed the meeting, and even the reports presented by the general evaluators and all the evaluators was amazing. It was a phenomenal meeting. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We are glad that you enjoyed the meeting. So are you all excited to know who has performed today?
Yes.
That's great. So it is time to know the results now. So who wants to guess the best? Well, the best tag team player today is Toastmaster Carla from IPTC. So let's have a huge round of applause.
Wow, wow, wow. Let's applaud. Let's applaud. Yeah.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Toastmaster Carla. And
Thank
the
you.
upcoming award is the Best Role Player Award. It is the TMOD of the day, Toastmaster Deepak. And the next award is for the Best Table Topic Speaker goes to Triple DTM Nina John. Let's have a huge round of applause. And And the best evaluator award goes to Toastmaster Victor Mendoza from IPTC. And last but not the least, and the most awaited award indeed, the best speaker award goes to Alvin, Toastmaster Alvin.
Congrats, Al.
That's great, and congratulations to all the winners as well as the role players and speakers. I want to, amidst COVID-19, we are all here because we share a similar interest and passion for Toastmastering. And I again want to take this opportunity to congratulate every role player member for making this meeting, the international joint meeting, a very memorable one. And with that note, thank you all once again and wishing you all good health, stay safe. And I would like to adjourn the meeting now. Once. So I adjourned the international joint meeting. Thank you all. And we can now have 10 minutes of networking session.